my shorts.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dave Lee Down Under podcast. I'm, of course, your host, Dave Lee, and this is episode, what are we up to? Episode 21 of the show. I've just had disaster in the studio. We've spilt water. We did. You can't see it if you're listening, but oh my lord, I'm sitting on like a puddle of water here. We did a cheers of the glasses. The water everywhere in the studio. No, I forgot to unmute you. He said it was making a mess. Oh my lord, thank you so much for tuning in once again. Of course, the podcast goes out every single Monday on all podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Amazon Music, and Audible. The visual element goes out on YouTube the exact same day. How's that? But if you're a patron supporter, you get 2-day early access on the Saturday. How bloody good is that? For as little as $1 a month. Absolutely beautiful. Of course, you can find me over on YouTube. Well, if you want to sign up to the Patreon, firstly, you can head to patreon.com/Dave Lee Down Under. Sign up. Beautiful. Have you signed up?
No, I haven't. I'm telling everybody else to, but
yeah, no, do it, guys. Come on. You can find me over at Dave Lee Down Under on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Links in the description of every single podcast down the bottom. It's beautiful. It's easy. Just click through. You're there. If you want to write into the show, you can shoot an email at daveleepod@gmail.com.
I sent you an email the other day.
You did send me an email the other day. You're about the second person who's ever sent me an email to that. Thank you very much.
I'll take it.
Yeah. If you are listening on the podcast platform, I love reviews, man. I would love some reviews. Leave me some good ones. Some good reviews and all that kind of stuff. It's always very well welcomed. Very much welcomed. I'm, of course, joined. Oh, the man, the myth, the legend is joining me today. If you've been listening to the show from the beginning, you hear about this guy all the time. He's always having a whinge about something. Usually, it's about like if I'm using too many sound effects or something. Like that. Yeah. Exactly, so I'm going to welcome him in with some sound effects. It is, of course, Whacko Jacko. We'll call him Jackson, if you like.
Thanks for having me on.
Not a problem. You've been wanting to come on for a while.
Yeah. Since day one.
Since day one.
Day one podcast listener.
Yeah. Cut it out. Stop. Cut it out. That's enough cheers for this guy. Thanks very much. Day one, you've been listening since the beginning. Of course, this is my friend. How many years now?
Too many.
Too many years. Yeah. Goes back to high school days.
Yeah.
You're a man who you often refer to yourself as my manager.
Absolutely.
I refer to you as the kind of manager that you find at the back of like a laundromat selling these services at 5 cents.
Still a manager.
Better call Whacko.
Still a manager.
Sort of deal. But no, you've been good. You've lots of great support for the show and all that stuff, which is always very much appreciated. You do listen. You rib me a bit, but you listen.
Oh.
And it's appreciated. You've enjoyed it, and you've been saying this whole time, when am I coming on the show?
You got to have your manager.
You're finally on the show. Exactly right. I'll give you one of them. Yeah. How have you been anyway? It's been a crazy. The last time we saw each other a couple of days ago, and we figured the last time we saw each other was Australia Day 2019? 2020?
You said you were out of the country.
I was out of the country 2019. So last year. It's been like a bit over a year.
Yeah.
Because of everything.
And now it's been twice in 1 week. So.
Well, yeah, twice in a week. Yeah. We're making up for it.
And now it's going to be another year after this.
Probably. So, yeah. After you absolutely destroy the podcast.
Oh, yeah. The wheels are coming off.
Yeah. But before that, it was at least a year and a half because I was overseas.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time. But we're back. It's like old days. Back to normal. Is that what they say? And we're reaching that age now where all these things that you hear about, like, oh yeah, you never see each other for so long, but then it's like back to normal. We've hit that age in life where it's like, oh, you haven't seen this guy for 2 years, but it's like pick up back where we left off.
Yeah. Nothing's changed, really.
Nothing's changed at all.
Not at all.
What have you been up to? It's been a crazy year. I mean, we've been talking about a lot on the podcast. It's about all we had to talk about last year, the pandemic and being locked down and stuff. How was it treating you in your little lockdown world?
Oh, I mean, lockdown's been fine, honestly. It's just, watching more movies and just, eating more junk. That's it, honestly. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Not much has changed.
No.
Still working, still
exactly right.
Still doing everything. So,
Keeping it going, which is good. We were saying last week on the show, we went into like a mini lockdown last week, like the 5-day snap lockdown, which is always annoying when that happens. It's like you were saying you had lots of big plans, you're going to go out and stuff, and then bang, lockdown again.
Ruined it.
Yeah, it's just inconvenience at this point where it's like, I can't complain about it because it's good. I mean, it's really good that our local government has been really good with all this. That it's just like bad. Well, if it's because we had like a little bubble pop up, kind of it looked like it could get out of control, and they just went bam.
Yeah,
which is great. It's fantastic. Get ahead of it, and now a week later, they've just saying that tonight they're loosening the restrictions again, which is beautiful. We've been out of lockdown for a week, but we've had some restrictions, and now we're sort of loosening again, which is great. So it's really good, but it's always when that happens, you've got all these plans. It's at that point now where we're like, we can actually make plans. We can go out, we can see people.
Yeah,
and then they go, bam, snap lockdown.
Yeah, not anymore. Yeah.
It's just like, a minor inconvenience, but it's going well. We're going okay. I like to keep everyone updated out there. They like to hear. Obviously, it's not going so well in other parts of the world, which is very, very upsetting. But the vaccine's rolling out.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the deal is with that.
Yeah, I think they started it here this week. There was a bit of a bungle, though. There was two elderly, because they start with the elderly people first, the most vulnerable. And there was like a big mess up. Someone injected them with like too much. They overdosed them. It was like 3 or 4 times the amount.
Oh, my God.
And it was like someone who hadn't been trained yet in doing it. So I think they've stopped it for now while they sort that out. I don't know what's happening. But
was that here?
Might have been Queensland. I think it happened in Queensland. They just started rolling it out, and there's massive cock up. But it's rolling out overseas. UK, they're rolling it out, which is great. America, it's going out. So hopefully, a few months we can contain it at least.
Yeah.
That's kind of the hope, isn't it? I guess contain it, and then we finally get to that end game. But yeah, it's been wonderful. I do keep meaning to say this, a bit off topic. I said at the end of the last show, but I feel like people kind of turn off before it gets to like the end bit. I find it with YouTube, especially the YouTube videos. Any YouTube video you do, people tune out before the end. They see what they want to see, and then you do the wrap up. People tune out. But I said at the end, I should have said at the beginning of last week's show, but I said it during the wrap up. We're thinking about like changing posters on the walls here. If you're listening, you can't see it. We've got some great like classic movie posters. I love them. They're great, but they've been there for like 6 years. I feel like a bit of a refresh.
Yeah.
What would you suggest? I want to know from people out there. Write in however you want. Comments down the bottom. daveleepod@gmail.com. Whatever. Let me know what kind of things you like to. What do you reckon? What would you see? Looking nice on the wall.
In my bedroom, I have one poster.
Yeah.
Which is the Alien movie poster.
Yeah.
And that I'm a big fan of Alien.
Yeah.
It's my favorite movie, so that's why it's up there. It's not just there for aesthetic, but that, and I really like Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh yeah,
beautiful poster.
You were saying you love that. Yeah. Oh, it's the one with
beautiful
the big
movie. Beautiful poster. Yeah.
Now, talking about Alien, actually, you're one of few people who believes Alien is better than Aliens. And this has always been a bit of a controversial.
I don't believe that.
topic.
I know that to be true. Yes, that is definitely a fact.
Yeah.
Yes, and I will fight anybody who says otherwise. Yeah.
Come on then, write in the comments. Let us know. But here's a thing. I'm probably a bit ashamed. I've never seen Aliens.
Yes,
I've seen Alien.
Yes, don't do it. Yeah.
So I can't weigh in. But I know a lot of people out there will always say Aliens is the better one. But it's always been like a hot topic of debate amongst you and the others in the group, and whatever else. Well, we always start the show. You kind of talk about what I've been watching and stuff. I'll turn to my laptop here so I can kind of remember what I've been watching because I've got a memory of a goldfish at the moment. I've been up to 4 a.m. actually, doing a trailer reaction video.
Not at a rave.
No, not a rave, and just sitting in my study editing a trailer video.
Yeah.
Which is always great fun until 4 a.m.
That's a rave of its own.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then I woke up I don't know, 10 a.m. I think I got out of bed. Which, if you're listening and you're a long time listener, you know I like to be an early bird. I like to be up at 6:30. I like to watch my movie before I get into work, and all that kind of stuff. This week though has just been really off kilter. Been so busy. I've had so many things to do. I'm still last week on the show. I was saying I've been sleeping in every morning because I think there's another thing where I woke up earlier just threw my week off. This week I've had things on. We've been places. We'll talk about it very soon. I've been places, actually been out mingling and stuff, which is weird. And yeah, it's just thrown my week off, so I haven't really watched much in the mornings. I have watched a couple of things. There's a movie, you wouldn't have seen this. It's called Sunday Too Far Away. It's an Australian film made in the 1970s, I want to say, starring Jack Thompson, the great Jack Thompson, great Aussie actor. That's just been released on Blu-ray for the first time by my friends over at Umbrella Entertainment. Terrific. It's part of their Sunburnt Screens line. Really, really fantastic movie. Really gorgeous transfer on that one as well. They've just issued Absence of Malice as well, which is a film from the 80s with Paul Newman and Sally Field. I'm seeing you completely glossed over.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any of these.
I'm speaking in an alien language.
Yeah.
But there's a good film too that's out now from Umbrella Entertainment. Terrific movie. Here's a couple I don't know if you have seen the original Superman movies.
No, I don't.
No, my gosh.
Am I missing out?
Yeah.
Yeah?
What kind of guest are you? Get out. Get out. No, I still think, as much of a Marvel fanboy as I am, and again, we'll get into this later in the show, I still think you're a DC man.
Well, okay. Yeah, mainly just a Batman.
Yeah, just Batman,
yeah,
right?
That's all that's all I've really appreciated.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah.
Well, I still think Batman. I've said again, if you've been listening for a long time, you've heard me say this a million times. But I still believe, as much as of a Marvel shill fanboy I am, right? I still think Batman and Superman are the best superheroes ever.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think partly is because they're the two characters we grew up with.
Yeah.
I found this comic book movies book that I think it was published 2006. It was like one I had as a kid. And it's like, oh, these are all the big, great comic book movies that have ever been made. Obviously, this is before Marvel, Cinematic Universe, all this stuff. There's like 20 movies listed in there.
Oh, wow.
And now, 12, 13, 14 years later, whatever, there's like that many films in the Marvel franchise alone.
Yeah, yeah.
So the way this superhero genre has exploded the last decade and a bit is insane. But yeah, I still think, I don't know whether it's nostalgia or anything, but I still think particularly the first Superman film, 1978, the best superhero film ever made.
Really?
Yeah. Better
than the Nolan, Batman?
Close.
Close? It reminds me, actually.
Yeah.
Speaking of Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, right.
I got you a gift.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Because I told you to watch a movie before this podcast, and you said, I don't have it yet.
Right.
So I got you Tenet.
No, you didn't.
On Blu-ray.
Oh, you legend. 4K Blu-ray at that.
4K. Because I was like, well, I saw it at the movies, and it was rubbish. And I was like, well, I want to see what Dave thinks.
So you bought me a copy. All right, I will watch it probably this weekend, to be honest.
Well, there you go. And
I'll get you on the podcast soon, and we'll talk about my thoughts on that. Thank you very much. You're very generous. That's right. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Tenet on 4K. Because so many people keep writing in, have you got Tenet yet?
Well, there you go. Now
many
he does.
People.
You don't need to write it in.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. They didn't need to do that.
That's all right.
But yeah, I do love the Nolan Batman films.
Yeah.
They are up there. But there's something so special. Oh, I'm still really happy about this, man. My Tenet Blu-ray, 4K. Thank you. No, look, there's something about these original two Superman films that is just, it's so uplifting. It makes you just so happy. You just watch it, you're like, oh, man. It's like, particularly seeing what they've done with the Superman character recently with the DCEU and all that, and they just completely ran him into the ground. This is like the Superman, like the optimistic, hopeful, cheerful guy. And you just watch it, Christopher Reeve is just terrific in this role, man.
Yeah.
But it's funny. So I watched the first two, but I watched really weird versions of them. So there's this, the first film, they did a TV cut for it. So back in the 80s, when they were airing movies on TV, first-run movies, you would be paid more depending on how long the film was. So the original film was like 2.5 hours long, maybe a little bit longer. And the studio was like, well, we'd prefer like a 3-hour time slot. So they literally threw in like half an hour of footage that was left on the cutting room floor to make this 3-hour cut of the film.
Just so they could get the bag.
Just so they could get this 3-hour time slot and get extra money, essentially. So it's what's called the 3-hour TV cut. It comes from the early 80s, and it is needlessly long. And it's obvious that it's not like they've put additional like long scenes and stuff in. Most of the time, it's like they've extended a scene by like 30 seconds. They've dropped in a couple of extra like cutaway shots. They've dropped in just like a couple of random like 10-second things here and there. And by the time you get to the end of the movie, it's made up like this additional, and it stretches the movie out just far too long.
Yeah.
But it's still enjoyable. It's not like I hated sitting there and watching it. I didn't find it boring, but it's just needlessly long. But it was kind of interesting to see it. I also watched Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. So when they were doing the first 2 Superman films, they shot them both back-to-back with this director named Richard Donner. And it was reaching the final hour of having to release the first movie. They're like, stop shooting the second one and just finish the first film, right? Yeah. So he finished the first film. And then there was something that he and the producers behind the films just weren't getting along, and it reached boiling point. The producers were like, no, you're off the second movie. They got another guy. 70% of the second film they'd shot. And they kicked him off, and they were like, okay, we're going to hire someone else. It's essentially the same thing that happened with Zack Snyder with Justice League.
I was going to say, it just sounds like a DC thing.
Yeah, it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah, they've done this a couple of times.
Yeah. These are the only 2 films in existence, I think, you can pinpoint that this has happened, where they brought in another director. The director was 70% complete, but the other director was like, no, we're going to reshoot most of it. So they reshot pretty much most of what Dick Donner had filmed. And so essentially redid the film. And then 30-odd years later, there was a big online petition, and this is going back like early 2000s. So this would have been message boards and stuff before social media. There was like this big push, like, we want to see Richard Donner's cut of the film. And they were like, they don't know if it still existed, but they found it all, and they allowed Donner to go back and recut his version of the movie. And it's actually the vastly superior version of the film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was really shocked because I've always loved Superman 2. I've always loved it, like one of the best. But Dick Donner's version is just like, it feels more in line with that first film.
So if I was going to watch one of them, would I have to watch which one?
I would probably start with the one that went out to theaters, because the Donner cut is still very raw. So a lot of the stuff there were some scenes that he didn't shoot that were remodeled for the second movie, but they had shot like camera tests for it. So they used the camera tests in the movie.
Not the actual final.
Yeah, not the actual final footage. So there's a little bit of a unfinished kind of feel to it. The special effects aren't great because they had a low budget. But I think if you look at it as like a, you kind of look at his vision, how he envisioned the movie should have been. It's a vastly superior version of the movie. Just feels so much in line with so much more in line with the first one. The tone, the feel
makes for a better story.
Yeah. Exactly right. Because they done just a massive script and they cut it in half, and they're like, we're going to turn it into one big epic in 2 movies. So when the second guy took over, they just remodeled it a bit. It wasn't as good. But anyway, it'll be interesting because Justice League is essentially the same thing. When Zack Snyder left and they brought in Joss Whedon, and I think Snyder had done like 80% of the film, 70-80%. And then Joss Whedon came in and essentially the same thing, went, no, I'm reshooting everything. So are you going to be watching the Justice League Zack Snyder cut?
Oh, if they release it, sure.
It's coming to streaming here. I can't remember where. I think maybe I think Foxtel's going to have it. I don't know if you have to pay for it. Not too sure. I have to look into it. But it's definitely, they're releasing it here for sure. I don't know if it's going to cinemas or anything. So anyway, I watched those bunch. I didn't watch any Jean-Claude movies this week.
Oh, damn.
No. Have you?
Or should I say Van Damme?
Van Damme, yeah. Have you watched any JCVD?
No, I haven't.
Oh, man.
I know you're a big fan, obviously.
Yeah.
What was it? Your number one most watched?
Yeah, my number one most watched actor of the year so far.
Yeah, which is a bit crazy to me. I don't even know what mine would be. But no, I haven't. What would you recommend?
Well, they're all pretty shit movies, to be honest. But I keep saying Nowhere to Run Universal Soldier. I think you'd really like Universal Soldier. And what was the other one? There's one where he's in jail. I can't remember the name. He gets sent to prison to investigate these murders. I can't remember what it was called. But those three, so they just all blend into one. But those three I actually thought were really good films. Like, good story. His performance was quite good in it. But the other one's just trash. You just watch it because it's just funny. Just funny. I'd say get on it.
Yeah, okay.
Jean-Claude. And become a Jean-Claude Van fan like myself. Watch a couple of new movies this week. Flora and Ulysses, which is the new film that went to Disney+. I thought it was quite nice. Quite cute little family film. It's like a bit of a riff on the superhero genre and stuff, and a lot of fun. So check that one out. Judas and the Black Messiah I've seen. You wouldn't have seen it. It hasn't even... This is great conversation here. This hasn't released here in Australia yet. It comes out on the 11th, I think. But it's overseas on HBO Max and in cinemas in America. It's been out for a few weeks. I went to a screening of it during the week. Really good. I think you'll really like it.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's like a true story, American civil rights movement in the 1960s. And the FBI arrest this guy who's been like carjacking. And they say, we'll let you go, but you got to help us infiltrate the Black Panther Party in Chicago. And there's this guy at the head of the Black Panther Party who is rising in the political ranks and really trying to start like an uprising and all this kind of stuff. And the FBI want him silenced, essentially, as you can imagine what it was back then.
Yeah.
So they send this guy into the Black Panther Party to mingle with them and to mix with them and become a part of the party. But he's there as like a undercover kind of spy to try and get the FBI to this guy before he gets too powerful for them, essentially. It's a terrific movie. And
Sounds interesting.
And the guy, he goes through this, you go along this journey with him where he gets to a point where he's like, why am I working for the FBI when I should be aligning with these guys? And the point of view is kind of like, watching him try to decide which side to stay on. Is he going to stay with the FBI, or is he going to stay with this party and align with what he thinks is right, but risk going to jail for however many years? It's a terrific film. Really great character study. Performances in it are amazing. It's got Daniel Kaluuya in it, who was in... I think you would have seen him in... I can't remember. He's been in a lot of really great stuff. But it's got Lakeith Stanfield in it as well. Both of them are really good. Get Out. That's what I thought. Have you seen Get Out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's in Get Out.
Great film.
It's just powerhouse performances, both of them. Really well. I think you'll love it.
Okay.
When it hits cinemas, so check that one out. My review, I'll have a review for that up on my channel later this week sometime, I think. We've got Raya and the Last Dragon coming up. I haven't seen it just yet, but I'm seeing it. Well, actually, by the time this podcast goes out, I will have seen it. But as we record a few days before the podcast goes out, I haven't seen it yet. So there'll be a review for that one next week, which is very exciting. Again, it's by the time this thing goes out, it's March. But we're still stuck in the past here in February. I will do my letterbox Wrapped for February next week because February hasn't finished for Past Dave just yet.
Yeah, there's still a few movies to watch.
Still a few, even though I've been so slow. It's a slow month. I just haven't got stuff in, and I've been doing things. I've been sleeping in. I've been doing like news bits in the morning, which takes me away from watching stuff. But it's all good. Television-wise, again, I've been really slack. I haven't really watched any TV this week other than Married at First Sight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is something you wouldn't watch either.
No.
It's just so trashy that I love it. I love the drama. Such a good show. Maths, good old Maths. This season's not as good, though. Disney Plus, talking to TV, Disney Plus Star launch this week.
Yeah.
You had a little chance to check it out a little bit. Essentially, this is they've added an extra, what they're calling like a brand tile to Disney Plus, where it gives you access to like more mature content that goes up to R18 plus rating. So you can like parental lock it and all that stuff. 490 new movies have gone on, 160 TV series. It's essentially like Disney's more mature stuff from Fox, Hulu, ABC, Touchstone, Hollywood Pictures, stuff like Deadpool, Alien, Predator, Die Hard, Michael Bay films like Armageddon, The Rock, Pearl Harbor that he did with Jerry Bruckheimer, Gone in 60 Seconds, Kingsman, Black Swan, Pretty Woman, Borat, Yig Shemesh. Just that's the kind of breadth of stuff that's on here. You checked it out. What did you think?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought. Yeah, like I don't know. I'm more of a horror guy.
Yeah.
There's lots of new horror editions that I get to watch, and Alien is on there as well.
Yeah.
So always love checking that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Grand Budapest Hotel.
Your favorite?
Yeah.
I never knew until the other night.
Yeah.
One of your favorites. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's right. We went to the launch event.
Yes.
Yeah. Over in South Bank.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
It was awesome. Yeah, I spoke about it briefly last week. Disney here in Melbourne. They did like a launch event for Disney Plus Star. So we both went. I thought, it'd be a nice icebreaker before we got on the podcast.
Yeah.
Figure out what we're going to talk about.
We got wined and dined by a billionaire businessman.
Yeah. No, it was really good. It was really good. There was finger foods and great stuff. We got little show bags. I got my Nakatomi Plaza.
Yeah, I didn't wear my shirt. But they gave us free shirts and everything.
What was your shirt again? You got
I got the Alien shirt. I had to,
of course.
Yeah. When she pointed that out, I was like, oh well, I'm sold.
Yeah, they had like the full on. They brought the screen printers out.
Yeah.
Yeah, hired like a full on company.
They brought a lot of stuff out for that.
Yeah.
The Melbourne Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah, the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra played for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then ballerinas came out, who I'm assuming were probably from. I'm not sure. They actually didn't say, but I assumed probably the Oz Ballet, but I'm not sure. But they came out, they did like a Black Swan thing, which was great. Again, we got finger foods. And we
got these cocktails as well.
We did get these little cocktails. Oh, what one? Now, at the end, they kind of gave out these like little show baggy things with like little trinkets and magnets and stuff. You got a Grand Budapest Hotel cake.
Yeah, loved it.
You loved it?
Delicious.
I left it on the bench, not realizing it had cream in it.
Oh, I just demolished it that night.
Massive cake. Like, if you've seen the movie, it's like the 3-tier cake that they have in the film. Yeah. And you just whoop down in one go.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
I left it on the bench, not realizing there was bloody cream in it. So I went for a bite the next day. It was warm, yeah. I put it in the fridge. I thought, that'd be fine. So I had it that night and I thought a bit after it. I'm still here. It was all right. But yeah, they gave us these little show baggy things. And we got some cocktails. Non-alcoholic. No, we got these lovely little cocktails that they sent out there. Should we try them?
Yeah, let's give them a go.
What one did you get? They were like all branded because it was just essentially just like a big branding event. It was like essentially like a mixer event where people just got together to celebrate the launch of Disney Plus Star and just for them to talk about the big property. It was like a big tie-in event where they made a big deal about these are all the properties and stuff that are coming. So at the end, you could pick your what do you call it, cocktail.
Yeah, all named after movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got.
I got Nakatomi Nights.
Yeah.
The Die Hard one, obviously, which is a gin. It's a gin cocktail. That's all I know. It's red.
Right. I got, it says, what is it? What does yours say along the top there? Oh, yeah, Nakatomi Nights. Yippee-ki-yay.
Yeah.
So that's the name. Mine is The Truth Is Out There. I Want to Believe. I got the X-Files one, the nice green one. For those watching out there you go. There's a little look. Give them a little, there you go. Oh, yeah, they are pretty cool, man.
All right, let's taste them.
We'll taste them. Mine is a Maduri vodka cloudy apple lemon.
Oh wow!
Yes, and we're gonna taste test these. We're gonna practice.
I got the gin.
Oh yeah.
The martini rosso and the bitters.
Oh,
so
interesting. This is a bit of a different.
Oh no!
What on earth?
They don't want us to drink
They
it.
don't want us to drink it. Practice. Well, this is something different, new for the podcast. I can't figure this out. But we're practicing safe drinking in moderation, of course, as you should.
Because I just emptied the whole bottle.
You can drink it all if you like.
Cool.
But for any, I don't even know how to get that top bit off. For any children out there, stay away from alcohol. And all adults, of course.
You're right there?
Yeah, I don't know how to get the bloody thing off, man. It doesn't want me to drink it. Doesn't want me to believe. Oh, I've got it. Got it. Oh, did you hear that? Little ASMR. That's what you got to do. For the listeners out there who can't see me struggling here with the bloody thing. Sound effects. Oh, there we go. Oh, I can smell it on my fingers. I'm going to give a little bit of this a go. I'm going to take that off because it's getting in the way. Oh, he's into it already. Make sure you give him a nice little sound as you're drinking away. Yeah, beautiful. Okay.
It is not that good.
Not that good? We won't say who made them. Ready? Give us a little try. Can't hear that. I'm trying to do like a little... Smells nice.
It does.
Are you supposed to shake them first? Because it's a cocktail? Is that why it's maybe not that good?
James Bond does, but
Yeah. Well, it gives you instruction on the back. Add the cocktail into a shaker with ice, shake, then pour into a glass. So I've done it wrong.
Yeah, we just went for it. Yeah.
We just went for it. So let me just give this a little... Can you hear that out there? Oh, jeez. This is why I'm not a food vlogger or a drinks connoisseur.
No good?
Not great. I can't taste the apple.
Oh.
I can just taste the Maduri.
You can smell it. Smells appley.
Yeah. It's all right. There's a little apple like a aftertaste.
So as you know, I've been choking.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
No dying on the podcast.
Yep. Right.
I've been like advocating that I should be your manager.
Yes.
For quite a while.
Yes.
So, and I was like, well, what does a manager do? And he gets fan interaction with his clients, right? So what I've done is I bought oldmaterick.com and you can go to that website right now.
Gosh.
And I've made you a Dave Lee podcast bingo card.
Oh my gosh.
You can download. So pull it up and we'll go
oldmaterick.com. This is legit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. This again, unscripted. I love this stuff. Oldmaterick.com. We're going to check this out. Okay. Oh, there we go. Dave
so
Lee
we'll go
bingo.
through it.
All right. So do you want to read that? You've done this. You've made this.
Right. So the top line that I've got for the bingo card is the top line are all the things that you hate.
Okay,
that you hate about Dave's podcast.
Okay,
right? So the first one is when Dave mentions an actor that you've never heard of.
They've already done that in spades today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because so many times you're like, oh, how good was Sarah Applelegs?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't bloody know who that is.
Right.
You know, Dave uses too many sound effects. Mm-hmm. We've already been through that. You've already...
Yep, that's happened.
You say you love a movie franchise, which...
I love a lot of them, man.
Yeah, exactly. Too many.
Love a lot of them.
So the middle line that we have here is those are things that you love to hear on the podcast.
All right. Love to hear these things. Yeah.
The JB Hi-Fi anecdotes.
Yep.
They're always great.
They're always good ones.
Everybody loves them.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
The classic Korea mishap stories. Can't get enough of them.
They're good. All right.
Everybody loves them.
Yeah.
Dave gets called cheap. I didn't call you cheap because I know that's Rick's thing.
Yeah, okay.
But everybody loves that.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody gets a kick out of that one. And the last line is, these are the things everybody wants to happen.
Okay, right.
Right.
Yeah.
So announcing your OnlyFans.
Yeah.
When's that coming?
I don't know.
Oh, well, everybody wants that to happen.
We'll get some, it'll be me watching movies.
Just what, in your underwear or something?
No, just normal.
Just regular.
Just regular. It's just me just watching movies. Give me $1, guys. So you just watch me watch movies. Yeah.
Okay. And then Dave and Rick finished Deadwood.
Yeah.
Everybody wants that to happen.
That's like that's like the gold, like
that'll be the last
like
episode
the holy
of the
grail.
podcast. Yeah. And it's just happened right now. I absolutely set this up. Dave gets drunk on the podcast. And here you are, drinking cocktails.
We're almost
on the podcast,
there.
Yeah.
We're a little bit of the way through there.
Yeah.
With the apple.
We're nearly at bingo.
Nearly at bingo. Well, we haven't had a JB anecdote. I'm sorry, I haven't been for a while. So I can't give any anecdotes. Classic Courier, they've been quite good recently. Unfortunately. Fortunately, but I don't have a story. I haven't been quite called cheap just yet. But okay. Head to oldmaterick.com and you can get the Dave Lee bingo card. Send them in to daveleepod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So, that's good. I love it. I would like to see them sent in daveleepod@gmail.com.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do all the things though. You have to get your OnlyFans going.
Yeah,
and finish Deadwood.
Me watching movies. Yeah, maybe that's the OnlyFans is like me watching Deadwood. People will pay me to finish Deadwood.
Oh, that's a good idea.
To get to the end.
Yeah,
I just binge it in a weekend. What other ways can I, as my manager, what other ways can we get community discussion or community involvement?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because I never see you like going, oh, buy my merch, buy the hat, buy the shirt. So
oh gosh,
I've made my own. See, proud manager of Dave Lee Down Under.
Gosh, he's done it. If you're listening, he's made himself a proud manager, Dave Lee Down Under T-shirt right there.
Well, that's what you need merch.
Oh, I need it there, yeah,
to give to all the fans.
Yeah. Well, it's actually something I'm thinking about this year, launching merch and stuff. So that's good. There we go.
I had to go make my own one.
Well, okay, I'll get some stuff sorted for everyone else.
Whoever gets bingo, I'll mail the shirt to, and they can be the manager.
How many managers am I going to have?
Just the one. It's
just the one.
I've only got the one shirt. So.
Okay, so I'll have one just random manager.
Most, so.
But is this you passing your role onto someone else then?
Oh, if they get bingo before me, sure. But they're up against me, somebody who listens to the podcast religiously. So,
okay,
no cheating.
So is this bingo right? Is this a bingo card for every episode? You have to get bingo in one show, or is this a bingo for like the entire series?
Oh, if you could do all of that in one episode, that would be the best episode ever.
So them's the rules, that it has to be in one show, or are you expanding it to be like anyone who just gets bingo after a certain number of episodes? You got to set clear rules here.
In a season?
Yeah.
Could we just do it in a podcast season?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know when this season goes till, though. I'll probably take a break in the middle of the year, maybe, like June, July.
There you go. They've got until June or July to finish the
the first person who gets the Dave Lee bingo, which again you can find at oldmaterick.com, and sends it through to me at daveleepod@gmail.com, you win that shirt. Are you going to send it out?
Yeah, I'll send it out.
All right, I'm up for it. All right, that's what we want. Tick it off, guys, if you've got your bingo card there. We've got the overuse of special effects, sound effects. You've watched Deadwood?
Yes. Yeah.
You've watched it all the way through?
Yeah.
Yeah? And then you started again? Did you continue watching it?
No. I got distracted by, I don't know, other shows that I've been watching.
Right. Well, you've obviously finished it. So did you watch the film, the movie they did after the series?
No, I haven't seen the film. That's why I started watching it again.
Oh, you're going to watch it and then watch the movie.
Yeah, I'm going to finish it and then do that. But yeah, it's a good one. But I think you guys are right. Like, there are times where you're just like, oh,
yeah,
carries on,
Yeah.
Not carries on, but it's a certain sort of show.
Yeah. I feel like maybe, like we talked about this last week, if you listened to last week's show, where we were talking about, I got a blank face there. I'm not sure if you've listened to last week's show or not. You did? Yeah.
That's just my face. Yeah. This is normally blank.
We're talking about like the difference between like people complaining that WandaVision isn't like all dropped at once. They have to watch it every single week. They prefer it to go out every single week, but they'd like to binge it, right? And I'm saying I think there's a difference between shows that should be watched in a weekly manner and shows that should be binged.
No, I don't think you can binge Deadwood.
That's what I'm going to say. I feel like it's not a show you can binge.
No. I think it's more of an old school show.
Yeah.
I almost think it's like a Shakespearean tale. Like the way they talk, the way it's set, it's so old school.
Yeah.
Like stories aren't done like that anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nobody's really out there going like, oh, I love watching Shakespeare every night.
Yeah.
And if you want to finish Deadwood, you have to be watching it.
Yeah.
What?
Well, yeah, that's what I think I'm starting to realize is that that's the show that you would have watched every week. I feel like if that was the case, where it was like, oh, Deadwood's on every Wednesday night, it would be fine.
Spaced
because
out,
you're like, okay,
it's an hour.
I'm going to watch Deadwood on Wednesday. We'll sit down, we'll watch the show when it's on. As opposed to now where we're like, oh, should we watch Deadwood? Maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe me and old mate Rick need to go, Wednesday night is Deadwood night.
Yeah.
And you watch
Wednesdays,
a show.
yeah.
Deadwood Wednesdays.
Yeah, deadwoodwednesdays.com.
You know what they say to that? deadwoodwednesdays.com. Well, maybe that's the way to do it. I don't know. Maybe that, you're right. Because it's one of those shows that is just so hard to just watch a number of episodes after. Even if it is like every night. It's so hard to do it because it's such a slog.
Definitely.
Maybe that's the way to appreciate it. It's a good show, don't get me wrong. It's just really hard to watch. Yeah. I couldn't even tell you where we were now. I think it was the end of season 2. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I promise you, we'll get there. It's been months, though. You got any more tricks in that little bag there?
Oh, just wait.
Okay. No, I don't. Not yet. Well, it's been good. We've got a T-shirt to give away with the Dave Lee Bingo, so make sure you go on your head to do that. And, of course, I got my Tenet on 4K. Thank you very much. I just keep seeing it sitting there glistening. I'm excited to see it because I've heard mixed things. I've heard people saying, oh, it's so good, and I've heard people saying absolute shit.
No, yeah. As a Nolan fan that I am, it is garbage.
Garbage.
Yeah.
All right. I'm excited. I'm so excited for it, though. I'm really excited. All right. So this is an interesting thing. We kind of talked about WandaVision. Now, you're not really a Marvel fan.
No.
No.
Not really. Not at all.
I've made you watch WandaVision.
Yes, yeah. I watched it specifically for the podcast.
Yeah. And you've watched what? You watched 4 shows?
Yeah, 4 episodes.
Yeah, I think there's been 7 so far. So you watched roughly half of what there is.
So I finished listening to your last episode of the podcast yesterday, and that was, you said that it was Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that.
Really?
See, I didn't even know who Vision was either.
Yeah.
And then my housemate came in and was like, oh, he gave me a little bit
Tim?
of a backstory. Yeah. Tim, Tim,
Yeah.
Tim, yeah.
Who you hear about in the pod all the time as well.
Yeah.
He's dying to come on.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just, a lot of it just went over my head, I guess. Yeah. Like, because I don't know who these characters are. I have no idea what's going on.
Well, that's what I was curious about. Not only as someone who doesn't really like Marvel, but just someone who doesn't watch the films, what it's like jumping into something like this.
Yeah, well, all my friends love Marvel, like you and like Tim. Yeah. Huge Marvel fans. And I'm like, well, all right, let's give this a go. I haven't seen anything since, I honestly think maybe Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Wow, that's ages ago.
Yeah. And before that was Iron Man, because I'm just such a big Jon Favreau fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I was warned how weird it was. I wasn't prepared for it to be black and white and in
those first couple
4-3 or whatever. Yeah. But I thought that was really ballsy of them. Good on them for doing that. Like, because like, I can see why everybody told me they were like, oh, you're not going to like it. You're not a Marvel fan. It's super weird. And went on. The first 2 episodes are just completely out of the blue, black and white. Like, I was like, wow. Like, I honestly didn't expect Disney or Marvel to do anything like that. Like, so crazy.
No.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying last week. I'm like, Kevin Feige, who was the head of Marvel, his vision is insane. But for not only for them to come up with that and to execute it in the way they have, but for Disney to go, do it.
Yeah.
Is crazy. Which is why I've said Bob Iger is probably one of the best producers or one of the best CEOs that Disney has had ever. Because of he's very ballsy in the way that he's pulled off all these acquisitions. He's the one that led the way for Disney to buy Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and I guess the freedom he's allowed the studios to have under his watch, because if it works, trust them. And you need someone who goes, okay, I trust you with what you're doing. But yeah, for sure, I think WandaVision is something that is just really wild, really out of left field.
Yeah.
Even for someone who's a Marvel fan. There's a lot of people, old mate Rick, for example, he's there day one to see all the films and stuff, loves them, rewatches them, buys the Hot Toys figures and all that stuff. But even he struggled with the first couple of episodes, thinking it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
I think I've said it multiple times. I think it's like just a big risk to do something like that. But what did you like it? Did you?
Oh, genuinely, yeah.
Oh.
I think just because of how weird it was.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect it at all, I guess. Like, normally when everybody's talking about Marvel, it's always the same thing. It's always Avengers, Spider-Man, Iron Man, it's this. And I was like, I don't even know who Scarlet Witch is or who Vision is.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there watching a black and white sitcom with 2 characters that I don't even know. And I'm like, hey, this is all right. Like,
Which is, I think that's crazy too, is because this is the first one they've done. And they're not only capitalizing on people, like myself who've watched all the movies. They're capitalizing to people who are maybe just casual fans of the series, people like you who've never watched the series. And the cool thing with that is I feel like it not only gives, because what they're doing with these Disney Plus shows is they're giving spotlight to characters who have never really had much of the spotlight in the films before. So we've got WandaVision, the next one's Falcon and the Winter Soldier, who I don't think you've come across them in the films. So they're both like on Team Captain America. Falcon's a guy who's got a big like Falcon wings. Anthony Mackie, and then Sebastian Stan plays Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, who was Cap's best friend. So they're getting a show. They're always kind of in the wings. Loki, you come across Loki?
Oh, Thor's brother?
Yeah.
Is it his brother? Yeah.
He's getting his own show. We're getting Hawkeye. He's getting a show.
Oh,
Jeremy Renner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. What does he have, a bow and arrow?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. These are characters that have been at the back for the whole time, and they're finally given them the chance to kind of get their own spotlight. And I think it works not only to give these characters more of a story for people who've been watching the films for 12 years so far, but for people like you who don't really know them, you can just jump into a story. And do you feel like your enjoyment was harnessed by the fact that you didn't know anything about the characters beforehand?
I wouldn't say, I don't know about harnessed, but I was definitely intrigued because I'm like, why am I being told to watch this black and white weird sitcom that goes for 30 minutes that is like told it's a Marvel thing with Marvel superheroes and nothing happens except there's a couple of plates flying, like Bewitched or, those old school shows, but that was it. Yeah. I mean, episode 4, that was the last one I watched, and that,
it starts opening up.
Yeah, that's right. It gets explained, and they're trying to contact Wanda and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, sure. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of that's what I wanted to hear, because I'm so used to, pardon me, so used to hearing from people who are big fans that are watching it, either loving it or didn't love the first few shows. So I think it's interesting to hear someone, because realistically, at the end of the day, what Disney is aiming for is general audience.
Yeah.
They're not aiming for the super fans because the money comes from the general audience. Most of the, your revenue, your box office sales come from general audience who are going to see a film. But I think that's what they've pulled off with the movies so well, is that you can watch every movie and you get the grand picture of the Marvel universe, but you can also just jump into one of the films without having much knowledge of anything else, really. Yeah. That's something like Guardians of the Galaxy, which you said you've seen, is just so weird and left field. It kind of stands on its own. Yeah, well, I actually liked that one. Yeah. I mean, I know you guys have labelled me as like a Marvel hater, but I did actually enjoy, Guardians of the Galaxy, just maybe because, it was like so unlike anything that they'd done at that point. Yeah. I haven't watched number 2. I was told that it was pretty rubbish. I love bingo. I really like the second one. I honestly think the second one's better than I don't know. The first one is an incredible film, and it's hard to top. But the second one, I think the storytelling in that is amazing. And maybe that's why I feel like that's why people didn't gravitate towards the second one as much as the first, because the storytelling is like the real focus of it, like the heart and soul. You've got Peter Quill, who's Chris Pratt's character. It's like learning a lot about his ancestry and his past, and all the characters are going through like their existential crises. And so it's really like a real story-driven film, whereas the first one's more like, it's got the heart, it's got the soul, but there's a lot of spectacle and stuff as well. I feel like that's why a lot of people didn't. But I really liked it. I think the second one's better. I'd check it out. If you like the first, I'd actually be curious to hear what you thought about that, because that is another one that's kind of people are like, divided on. Guardians and Guardians 2. Talking about something that we both love.
Yeah.
And we've loved forever.
Oh, Frasier.
Yeah. I was going to start the show off. Hang on, let's start again. Let's start the show again. Right, actually, I'll do this one. I was going to start the show like this. I completely forgot, but I'm going to do it. Good morning, Melbourne. I'm listening. It's Dr. David Crane here on the Dave Lee Down Under podcast at KACL What's the number?
780.
780. We're talking to my good friend Whacko Jacko today. We're going to be talking about, so cut that. I was going to start the show like that. I completely forgot. But you got it there. And if you'd prefer, that's like an alternate beginning that I've given you. It's like an alternate.
That's a much better one.
It's a much better one,
You should start all the time like that.
I will. And if you're a super fan of the Daily Down of the podcast and you prefer that opening, you can make like a fan cut of this episode. So anyway, we are talking about, I do like that. Hello everyone, this is Dave Lee from Dave Lee Radio. Yeah, we both love Frasier. We've been big Frasier fans. I feel like Frasier's had like a bit of a renaissance recently when it comes to like internet meme culture and stuff.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. You've watched all the episodes. You've watched the whole lot.
Big Frasier fan.
I don't know how many times I've watched it.
I know. Yeah.
How old were you when you first started watching Frasier?
Oh God, I don't even know.
Were you a kid watching it?
Yeah.
You're so weird though, because I was like the only one I knew who was watching Frasier as like a kid. Everyone was like, "What is this?" Because I think that the humor in it's so sophisticated.
Well, I bet your parents were probably big Cheers fans.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, because mine were too.
Right.
And that's,
I think, it was just on.
Yeah, I think that's where it came from. They were like, they loved Cheers. They put on Frasier.
Yeah.
You know, it was on in the background when mum was cooking dinner or whatever. And I was like, I don't know, just got used to it maybe.
Yeah.
Well, and then I got it on DVD and I was like, well, now I'm watching this all the time.
Well, that was back in the day where you had to go back and buy remember how hard it was, right? When we were kids, this is back before you had complete DVD seasons or even VHS seasons. You'd only get like the best of VHSs. How hard it was to find that one, like, or 2 or 3 episodes that you'd never seen before.
Yeah.
Right? And you'd have to wait for the show to be replayed over again to finally get back to that episode. It was just so so like people, if you're younger and you've just known nothing else but being able to go and grab a DVD off the shelf or go to JB Hi-Fi and buying a DVD.
Yeah, or even just streaming it.
Yeah, or streaming, yeah. Gosh, I'm feeling old now. But it was so different then. And we're only talking 25 years ago. Only that long ago.
Yeah.
I'm having an existential crisis at the moment. I feel like the closer I get to 30, the more I'm thinking about how times have changed. But I had like those Simpsons guidebooks. They published these like ultimate guide to the like the finest family, whatever the book was called. Yeah. And I had all the episodes listed, and it was like, I haven't seen this one, I haven't seen this one, I haven't seen this one. And you'd sit down at like 6 o'clock to watch The Simpsons and hope that one episode you hadn't seen was on. And when it came on, it was like, So
Take it off the list.
Yeah. So Frasier was a show like that where you saw bits of it because it's always on.
Yeah.
But then you finally got a chance to see everything once you went back to the DVDs was then. But yeah, I was watching it. I was quite young watching it. Same thing. It was just on. And it was like 7 o'clock every night show, I think. I think Channel 9 had it on at like 7 or 7:30 every night for years.
Yeah.
Years and years. And then you get like a new episode on like, I don't know, like a Tuesday or a Wednesday night or something. So you sort of saw it back to front. You'd see the older ones and then you'd see new ones too, kind of all out of order. And then you finally go back. Yeah, I've never really thought about it, but that's not really something I think you'd get anymore. That kind of way of watching a show.
Either that or it could just be Australian television.
Well, maybe,
as well.
True.
Because, I don't know. Channel 9 and Channel 10, they didn't really treat stuff like The Simpsons or Frasier, every time you put it on, you're like, oh, well, I've seen this one already.
Yeah. So anyway, we're talking about Frasier because we're getting more Frasier. Paramount has announced that there's going to be a Frasier revival. They've been talking about this for ages. Years. Kelsey Grammer's always getting when's more Frasier coming? Is always like, oh yeah, we're working on it. They finally announced it. They haven't really given us any information other than the fact that Kelsey Grammer is back. He's starring as Frasier Crane. God. He's going to be listening again. He's going to be.
I'm so nervous.
He's going to be stirring up some.
It's just going to be garbage. It's going to. It's going to ruin.
I'm really worried, to be honest. He's going to be. He's not only starring, but he's producing it. I don't know.
Well, Frasier, I feel like was so popular because they had the Cheers writers.
Writing
exactly right for Frasier, right? how old are the Cheers writers
I
now?
don't think they're... I think it's a new team of writers, which gets me worried.
Exactly, yeah. And then it's like, well, all right, I don't know who the new team is, but I can't think of any sitcom that's better than Frasier.
No way.
No. Yeah, it's the best.
It is just... put it on the record.
Yeah.
This is a show that is just so clever. It's like clever humor. And I think a lot of people think it's like maybe pretentious humor. It's not, because you got to understand the characters.
It's making fun of him being pretentious, if anything.
But the comedy in it... Have you watched Cheers? Did you watch much of Cheers?
I've just seen bits of it here and there.
I've watched all of Cheers. I've seen all of Frasier multiple times. They both terrific programs, and both two of like my top 5 sitcoms ever. So Kelsey Grammer played Frasier for 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years, because Frasier went for 11 seasons. Cheers went for 11, but he didn't come into Cheers until like maybe season 2, I think 3 or 4, I think. He wasn't in there at the beginning, Frasier. So for those of you listening, you don't know, Frasier started in the show Cheers, was the character in Cheers, and then spun off into his own show. But it's been... How long? It's probably almost 20 years since Frasier even finished. Not quite, surely. No. I'm going to look it up on IMDb. I reckon it finished probably like 2003, 2004. Frasier. It started 93, I think. 93. And it went until, well, add 11 years. I'm terrible with math. So that would be 04. Like, 03, 04. So it's been almost 20, like closer to 15 years since it's been off.
And now all of a sudden they're like, let's go. Frasier round 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know how this is going to go.
I don't know. I'd love to love it. They're talking about getting the whole cast back. But I feel like you said, Frasier worked so well because it had that Cheers team.
Yeah.
And it was almost like they just continued on with the same thing. The writing was very similar. The comedy was so similar.
Were you talking about Cheers was a show that was like, there was nothing like it at the time.
Well, exactly.
Was it?
No.
Was there? Like, they won so many awards and were on for so long for that reason, because it was so groundbreaking.
Yeah.
And, okay, Frasier was a bit different in the 90s.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's gonna be interesting to see how they pick something like that. I mean, we've seen it happen with like Will and Grace and stuff. Like, what other shows have they revitalized recently? The X-Files, which wasn't great. They do it with so much now, and it's never as good. But particularly with something like Frasier, I feel like is one of those like in the moment kind of things that works for the moment. Yeah. And then you separate 15 years between that and the new one. I don't know if it's going to work. Now, one of my favorite sitcoms is Friends, which you're not huge on, correct?
I've seen it all.
You've seen it all.
Yeah.
But that is a show I would never, ever want to see redone like this.
Oh, yeah.
Because
everybody wants it redone. Though.
Everyone wants it redone. I'm sitting here like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
That's a show, and Frasier's very similar, but I think more so Friends is that it's a show about that moment in time in those characters' lives. It's a show about a bunch of friends who are, they start off single, and they're just living their early 20s single life in New York City before their life... before they get married and they have kids and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So by the end of the show, most of them had found love and had been married or were having kids or whatever. And that goes off into the next chapter of their life. So that's why that show ends there, because that's it. That show's about this chapter of their life. I don't want to see Monica and Chandler held down in retirement. Well, at this point, they would have had kids that'd be 20 years old by now, probably. Their kids, and at the end of that show, almost... Yeah, so I feel like there's some shows you don't need to go back to.
No. Yeah.
And Frasier is one of them.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to see, though. It's going to Paramount Plus when Paramount Plus launches sometime this year. It's going to be interesting, for sure. Something that I am excited about, though, that I think you'll be excited for. You're big, or you like the Pixar films.
Yes. Yep.
They're doing a new one, as they do every year. I make it sound like it's a big deal. They're doing a new Pixar film. Oh, no, they're doing a new one. It's called Luca, and it looks gorgeous. Have you seen the trailer yet?
No, I haven't.
It launched just last night. This is what I was up to 4 a.m. doing. We're going to watch the trailer, and then we're going to kind of get some thoughts on it.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
But there's just one thing.
Whoa. Whoa, wait. Did you see that?
No one can find out.
That's great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How good does that look?
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't think Pixar's never done anything like that.
No.
Some sort of monster. I guess Monsters Inc.
Well, sort of, but yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So the synopsis is they are both sea monsters from another world. You obviously take that from the trailer. And obviously, well, the one takeaway from the trailer was they didn't really say this in any of the synopsis they put out. Is obviously the townspeople don't like the monsters. Is obviously they would like one of those mythological things.
Yeah.
Like you go to all these old towns and they all have these myths and legends and stuff. Yeah, I think it looks really good.
Yeah. Reminds me a bit of Lovecraftian. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you read Shadow over Innsmouth.
Haven't read it. No.
That really famous.
Yeah.
Same sort of, like, I guess, sea town that
Yeah.
has like a mythological sea creatures
Yeah.
and stuff living in it. Yeah.
Well, people are saying like Guillermo del Toro films, sort of like Shape of Water
exactly,
and
yeah.
Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah, that kind of mystical kind of.
Yeah.
I think it'd be something fun to explore with Pixar. The guy that is doing this, the director of it, is Enrico Casarosa, who is obviously an Italian filmmaker, and he's sort of based on his childhood. Obviously, he's not a sea monster. But that's kind of the more, elaborating the story a little bit. But he's obviously set it like in a seaside town in Italy, kind of where he grew up. He grew up on the Riviera in Italy, and so I think visually it looks stunning to me. Because I'm part Italian and I've been back to the home country or to the hometown a number of times, where my family is from. My mum's side of the family is from a little town called Ferentino, which is just outside of Rome. Not just outside, it's just a little bit outside of Rome, but it's a gated community. So it's like a really traditional old Italian town. You step in there and it's like stepping back like 100 years.
Yeah.
And it's literally like what you're seeing in this clip. I'm seeing this and I'm seeing just the way they've got these people sitting around in the town. You've got the guys in the restaurant just hanging around in the middle of the afternoon. You've got the old Italian nonna standing there at the balcony hanging out. Like this is literally what it's like in that town.
Yeah.
Still. Now this it looks like it's probably set in like the 1950s, I want to say, judging by the clothes. And there's like a clip where they're dancing to like an old gramophone player. I want to say it's like 40s, 50s, 60s, but you don't really know with these old towns because, again, stepping into one of these towns is like stepping into the past. And that's not...
they've been there for
a long time. Well, this town, our hometown, is the last town that fell to the Roman Empire.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So it was the last town that the Romans came in and knocked over. But saying that is not a detriment to the town because it's just so wonderful to go back and just... The lifestyle is so different, and it's just so amazing. Really wonderful. And the people there are incredible people, incredible.
And they're sea monsters as well.
And they're sea monsters too. So I'm part sea monster myself, yeah. But yeah, watching this is like being instantly transported back to the hometown. And I know what it feels to watch this and be like, yeah, I can see my family like on the screen, mia familia, as it would say, in my very limited Italian lexicon. But yeah, I think it looks fantastic. And I love the concept. The animation style is beautiful as well.
Yeah.
You're a fan of the Ghibli films?
Yes.
Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle.
Yes. Yeah, all of them.
Yeah. Casarosa has taken big inspiration from the Miyazaki films.
Yeah.
So... Is that his name? Yes. Yeah, but so particularly in, I think, the style of the story as well as the animation style as well. I've not really watched many of the Ghibli films. So if you, as someone who has watched, I don't know, have you watched, you watched all of them?
Yeah,
watched,
basically, yeah.
What do you see that in this when you watch that?
Oh, I just think, both the same, both gorgeous, obviously very bright. Yeah,
and the story, because the Ghibli films are very much like really heartfelt stories about
normally mythological or some sort of that sort of element to them. Yeah, no, you can definitely see that there's some sort of inspiration there. But I mean, I guess Studio Ghibli itself has inspired so many artists and animation studios.
Yeah, I need to get into them.
Yeah,
yes,
you do.
I've watched Howl's Moving Castle. I've watched Spirited Away, Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're the only ones, and I watched them in high school.
Yeah.
But I have to get into them.
Yeah. No, there's so many good ones. Yeah, Ponyo. And,
I know.
Oh, what's that?
The big rabbit guy. Totoro, whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah, Totoro.
Totoro, yeah.
Oh, that's my favourite hangover movie.
Oh, really?
You put that on, you instantly feel better. Yeah, like the song starts up and you're just like, hangover's gone.
Yeah. Oh,
feel great. I'm ready to conquer the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after you've drunk that martini, you can put it on.
Yeah, I will.
Put it on
I
the
will.
next day.
They're on Netflix now, so I need to watch them.
Yeah.
People keep saying you got to watch them. And people have actually, someone suggested, one of my patrons suggested that I should start doing like watch parties. With my patrons, and one suggestion was to do the Ghibli films with my patrons, so they can be there and watch me.
Yeah, that'll make me become a Patreon. Yeah.
Okay, exciting then. Beautiful, my manager. So that's a seal of approval from the manager, which is good. So I'm excited for that. That is, I was supposed to be coming out in June, like 17th or 18th or something, like towards the end of June. But with this new trailer that just came out yesterday, and the poster that they put out, it just says summer 2021.
Yeah.
So it's kind of now questioning maybe. Well, I've been saying for a few weeks that I still think the Disney schedule is up in the air, and I think that's probably the biggest piece of evidence we've had so far that they're not locking themselves in with a release date just yet.
Yeah.
I still think it's probably going to get pushed, but they're going for that window, that summer 2021 window. So we'll see it.
That's coming to cinemas, is it? Because Soul went straight to
Disney Plus, but again, that's what I was going to say. This didn't say anything about that either.
Yeah.
So that didn't specify theaters, didn't specify Disney Plus. It's just leaving it wide open.
They're just playing it by ear.
Yeah. Because I feel at this point, it's just stupid to be like, June 17 only in cinemas.
Yeah.
I know a few studios have been doing that with their films recently, but I still think it's just too, what's the word I'm looking for?
Too gung-ho.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think at this point it's still like everything's still up in the air. But they're doing Raya and the Last Dragon, which is a film I'm seeing this weekend. Comes out like early March, 5th of March or something. But they're doing the split release with that. So because Mulan went direct to Disney Plus, no cinema option at all, but you had to pay for it. Soul went straight to Disney Plus. You didn't have to pay for it. Now with Raya, what they're trying is they're doing the same method that they did with Mulan, where you got to pay the $30 to watch it, but you also have the option to go and see it in the cinema, where cinemas are open and safe to go to.
For $30?
Exactly right. Yeah. People are complaining about it.
I wouldn't pay that.
You wouldn't? No. So you'd be ones complaining about it?
Not complain, I just wouldn't pay.
You just wouldn't pay it.
I'd be like, well, I'm waiting,
Because it'll be on Disney Plus in 3 months' time to watch for nothing, probably. Again, like Mulan.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is going to cinemas. So if people don't mind paying but would rather not pay for it on the streaming service, you can go and see it in the cinema if it's open and safe to go to where you are. I feel like Disney are probably going to wait and see how that release strategy goes before they decide what they're going to do with Luca and probably Black Widow, any of the other big ones like that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. One other, of course, Warner Brothers is doing, and it's apparently seeming quite successful so far, is that Warner Brothers with HBO Max, they're dropping their films day and date on HBO Max and at cinemas, but they stay on HBO Max for like 40 days and then disappear for a couple of months before they then come back onto the service. But again, it's free on HBO Max to watch the films, or you can go to cinema. Paramount has come out. Now, Paramount are behind Mission Impossible 7, which is one that keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, and Quiet Place 2.
Oh, yeah.
I've said on the podcast a few times, I had tickets. I had my tickets. I was ready to go. when
they pulled it.
And they pulled it.
Yeah.
Everything went into lockdown. This was like 3 days before lockdown. And I was supposed to, or the screening was like 3 days after when the lockdown was. I had my tickets ready to go. I had my like preview tickets, got cancelled. I know people though who I think they did screenings. They actually started the screenings in America, but they're not allowed to say anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So people have already seen
there
it.
There are people out there who've seen it. Some critics have seen it and just have to sit on their reviews until the movie comes out. So Paramount, they've finally come out and decided what they're doing is that they're releasing their films into cinemas. They've got their own streaming platform we're talking about with Frasier called Paramount Plus. A bit like Disney Plus, but yeah. Paramount Plus, Apple TV Plus, all of this. So they're going to start off Paramount Plus, and what they're doing is they're going to put these big films in theaters and on Paramount Plus, but you got to wait 45 days after they've opened in cinemas.
Oh, okay. I think that's a better strategy.
I think it's a good strategy.
Yeah.
Because that way you capitalize on the money at the box office. If it's safe to go and see the film.
Yeah. You actually get people out of the house, I guess, rather than just being like, well, let's just pay $30 right here and now while we're sitting on the couch.
Yeah. Or in HBO Max's case, they're putting these movies in cinemas and on HBO Max for free day and date. What are you going to do in the middle of a pandemic?
Yeah.
You're going to stay home and you're going to watch Zack Snyder's 4-hour Justice League cut at home, right? So I think this is smart because if you really want to see the movie, you're going to go out and see it as soon as it's out. You're going to pay your money at the cinema. I feel like this is a better way for them to make money back on these films.
Yeah, definitely. That's a much better way of doing it.
I think that's pretty good. And I think the 45 days, it's a bit over a month. Well, the window between theatre and physical media used to be about 3 months. So I think it's a similar thing in that you've got that window where you can see it in cinemas and then a bit over a month later, a month and a half later, you can see it on Paramount Plus.
Well, when I went and saw Tenet, I don't even think that it had been a month after I'd seen it before I started seeing the Blu-rays pop up.
Yeah, I think they've particularly this last year they did with Mulan as well. It was like a month later. It was on physical.
I just rushed it
because everything's so especially because what happens when you have no movies coming out, you have no Blu-rays coming out.
Yeah.
So they're just really in every element of these businesses. It's like scramble to just we've got this movie, we can get a Blu-ray out. Push it out. So I think that's a good strategy. It's interesting to see that. And I think while you've got all these different studios doing all these different things, and there's, I don't know, it's almost like someone's trying to set an industry standard. It's like throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks, really.
Yeah.
And whatever I think plays out here is probably what we're going to see going forward.
Yeah. Whichever movie is most successful, that's what's going to be followed.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee it's going to be Zack Snyder's Justice League. I can guarantee it's going to be enormous, that movie. But look, you've got Mission Impossible 7. You've got, I think Luca's going to be pretty big. It's probably going to make, I say it's going to make $1 billion. I think it would have made $1 billion outside of pandemic times. All these movies would have. I think Mission Impossible 7, Quiet Place probably would have got very close. It's interesting to see because now we're judging the success of a film, not so much on how much money it's making, but on how many eyes it's getting now.
Yeah.
On a streaming service, especially when they're throwing away for free.
Yeah.
So that's just a strange way that the movie industry's been. As someone who's not, like you're a big movie fan and stuff, you watch a lot of movies, you go to the cinema a lot, but you're not like into the whole industry side of it all. I wouldn't say you don't really follow the industry that deep and stuff. So as someone who I guess will put in a general audience category, how everything has been playing out over this last year, how do you feel about it all as the general consumer?
Well, I don't really go to movies that often. Mm-hmm. If I do, it's mainly because we're going out with friends and we go, hey, let's all go watch this movie together, or some sort of date or something. Where we're like, okay, we'll go watch this. We'll make a night out of it. But I just think they're not. I don't think that they're really considering what people want. They're just like, how can we get the most amount of people to watch this?
Yeah.
And that's not what I'm about, I guess.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't care how many other people watch the same movie I watched.
Yeah.
I'm not in the same industry as you, I guess, where you love talking about different movies and same with different shows and all that, and you love getting involved in that conversation. But for me, I'm just like, well, look, if you put out a good horror movie and it's on your streaming platform, I will subscribe to that streaming platform just for that movie. And then at the end of the day, I'm just go, okay, or at the end of the month or whatever that payment period is, I'll just be like, okay, see you later.
So you're someone who jump between the streaming services depending on what's on at the time.
Absolutely. So like I know you talked about what Christmas movies you watch.
Yep.
And every Christmas I always watch
Jingle All the Way?
No,
Home Alone.
I got you to set up. A movie once in this very
room. Bloody Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes,
and you didn't come.
That's right,
bastard.
Yeah. So the only way I could watch that at the end of 2020 was by getting Disney Plus, and that's why I signed up to Disney Plus, and I was like, okay, yeah. And then I just forgot to
discontinue it,
disable it. So when you told me to watch WandaVision, I was like, well, I knew I kept this for a reason. So here we go.
Yeah. I think I'm the same at the moment. I'm not. I think Netflix is the only one, or Disney Plus as well, are the two that we're really. Netflix doesn't offer a yearly thing, does it? So we're paying Netflix monthly. There's always something on there to watch. But I've paid my yearly Disney Plus because I've got that. But then like the other ones like Stan, Amazon,
Foxtel. I pay for Foxtel just for HBO.
Right.
I was like, if I could pay for HBO Max in Australia, I would. Yeah. But I'm like, no, Foxtel has the right, so I have to pay for Foxtel now. So I'm like, okay.
So you have the digital Foxtel thing. Right. You don't have
Foxtel
the box
now. Yeah. So I pay for that, and I think so I pay for some, and I got my parents to pay for some, and then we just sort of share it around, and everybody gets to watch everything.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, that's pretty much what we do. I mean, like I'm between Amazon and Stan, and whatever else is there. If there's something on Amazon I want to watch, it's like we've been watching Top Gear or the Grand Tour, and there was some other show we were watching on Amazon. I can't remember, but we had Amazon for a couple of months. It's going to expire at the end of this month again, so we'll probably. The Coming to America is going to be on there next week, which is the sequel.
Coming to America.
Coming to America. So once I think my thing will expire like 2 days after that's been on, so then I'll probably get rid of that. And then there's some stuff on Stan I want to watch, so we'll probably get Stan for a month or two. But yeah, I think
Stan's where Frasier is.
Well, it is too. Yeah,
got to get that for Second Coming of Frasier.
Is it on there in HD?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I've got the old DVDs up there, but if it's Frasier in HD, I'd do it. I was going to say, actually, before we talk about Frasier, they play it to death in the UK.
Oh, really?
They play it to death every morning.
Maybe I'll move to the UK.
Yeah, man.
That'd get me out of bed.
Oh, man. I'm telling you, every morning they play, it's like 3 episodes of Everybody Loves Raymond. They'll play 3 episodes of Frasier, and they'll play 3 episodes of The King of Queens. Like every morning.
3 great shows.
Yeah, yeah. And I was up every morning and just watching them. And I mean, like, I've watched all of these shows, 3 of my favorites. I've watched them all to death. But it's just so, I just wake up in the morning and there it is again. Yeah. Beautiful. So good. I reckon in the time that I was there, I watched Frasier 3 times over because they just play it in this continual loop. This literal loop is just going over and over. Why did you even come back? I know. Yeah. I don't know, man. But yeah, so that is... That's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes with Paramount. I don't know. It just feels like when you feel like the studios are finally sorted out and, this is the new standard, something else happens. But it's going to be very interesting to see, especially with so many streaming platforms coming in at the moment. It's going to be very interesting to see where it all goes. Another big movie that keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed. This is a movie they've ramped up the marketing campaign for at least 3 times. Yeah, James Bond. Yeah. They did the first push, which was like trailers. It's coming out soon. Posters. Here you go. Yeah. Shit. Sorry, guys. Delayed. And then a couple of months later, James Bond's coming out. Here's some more trailers. Here's another bunch of posters. There's a fucking James Bond podcast you can listen to. Yeah. They released Billie Eilish released her song for the film as all stations go. Sorry, guys, it's not coming out this time. And then it was supposed to come out like next month, and you saw they were starting to fucking ramp up again. Billie Eilish is back out talking about her song. They released a video clip. She's on front covers of magazines. You've got more posters coming out. Oh, it might be another trailer. Sorry, guys, we're pushing it again, but we're not telling you when. So it's been like 3 or 4 times. They're just like, and imagine the amount of money that they're just wasting on the marketing campaign for this. Right?
It's going to need to be a huge movie.
It's going to be an enormous movie.
Yeah.
They're not, and it's scary because MGM, who's behind Bond, they've been really. I don't even know if MGM really exists anymore.
That's the only thing they got going for them.
It's just Bond. I think they're just in name now, or they're just there doing Bond. It's so weird because they've been so rocky for years. I don't know, but anyway.
Is it a good song? I haven't even heard
it. Do you like Billie Eilish?
I mean, no.
No? I like Billie Eilish. I think she's really good. I think, you know me, I really appreciate good artists.
Yeah.
Who are just, and I think.
And I'm the opposite. I appreciate bad artists.
You appreciate the bad ones, yeah. I think this young girl, her and her brother, making an album in a bedroom, and it goes on to be like a global fucking record breaker, is just insane.
Oh, she's okay. All right.
Yeah,
we won't get into that.
We won't get into it. But I think that's terrific. But that said, didn't really like the song. I don't remember it, so that's.
Okay. Well, that says everything. Yeah, because otherwise you would remember it because you'd be playing it constantly.
Yeah. I didn't. I think I listened to it maybe once. Maybe saw the video clip. I don't know.
That being said, the song is always so much cooler when you see it.
When it's in the film, yeah.
When it's in the intro or however they do it, and then you're like, oh, that's a great song.
Yeah. But I don't remember the song. I couldn't even tell you what the song's called. It's probably No Time to Die because it's the name of the film.
Yeah.
I don't remember it. I think it didn't really sound like a Bond theme from memory. I don't know. Anyway, we've gone on a tangent here. The film, they've finally given a release date. September 30 in the UK, and it's going to roll out internationally after that. So we should, theoretically, have it by the end of the year.
Yeah.
You're a Bond fan, sort of. You like the new ones?
Yeah. Daniel Craig, definitely, really good.
You loved Casino Royale when it came out. You were just...
Oh, I saw it so many times. Yeah.
You even bought that like special edition DVD box set, didn't you?
Oh, I think I did actually. Yeah, that was a while ago though.
Yeah.
Jeez,
I remember you never used to buy many like DVDs or whatever, but if it was like something you really loved, you'd have to get like the special edition thing.
Yeah, I did that with the Sopranos
box set.
Yeah.
I love Casino Royale. I didn't like Quantum of Solace. I loved Skyfall.
Yeah.
And I really didn't like Spectre. One of the worst things.
Yeah, see, I've seen it, and I can't even remember.
I don't remember it.
Spectre.
I remember not liking it.
Yeah.
It was the first movie I saw with Alicia in cinemas. She hates James Bond.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to see it.
She's British, though. Come on.
I know she's British. But she doesn't like Monty Python either.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
what
I think
are you doing, Alicia?
Yeah,
Come on.
it's I don't know. But I was like, I have to see it. I want to say I love James Bond. I like the James Bond films. I really enjoy I've loved the two Daniel Craig films. The what did I say? Casino Royale and Skyfall. They were great. So I was like, I have to see it. I have to go and see it on the big screen. This is when I was over in the UK. So we went and saw it, and it was just, she hated it. And even I was there like, oh my God, why have we come to this? Why? But yeah.
The way Skyfall was done, it was so grand. Like he had the old Aston Martin.
Yeah,
that's
right.
It was so reminiscent of the old school Bond as well. I thought that's where they were just going to finish it.
Yeah,
like, that's how it felt to me. I was like, oh, this is the last one. They're throwing all their darts at this one. And
nothing. Well, didn't Daniel Craig come out? I can't remember if it was at the end of that one or at the end of Spectre, where he came out in the press and was like, I will never play James Bond ever again. He's like, I would rather, like, I can't remember what he said. It was like some insane situation. He's like, I would rather do that than do another James Bond movie. And now he's come back and done another 2. So I feel like maybe even he probably felt this is the end. I think they planned 3 films with him, and then they did another one. So he came back for the next one. He's like, yeah, no, I'm not doing it again. And then they've gone, yeah, we'll give you this much money. Come back and do one more.
He's still on it just for the,
But I feel like this new one, No Time to Die, feels very much like that Skyfall thing that you talk about where it's really grand. He's got the classic car again that opens up at the bonnet with the fucking machine guns that come out of it. It just looks like classic Bond.
Yeah.
So I feel like if that's the mindset they've gone into, let's send out Daniel Craig with a fucking classic, like with a bang classic Bond film. I think it should hopefully be good. Well, every second one has been really good so far.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So you've seen the trailers and stuff. You probably don't remember them since the trailers come out so long ago.
No, I haven't seen the trailers.
You haven't seen the trailers?
No.
It looks good, but again, I have trepidation because I've only liked 50% of the Daniel Craig ones. In fact, I'd probably say only like 50% of the Bond films, full stop. I really love Bingo. I love the every time I say it now, I'm going to be thinking of Bingo. You're
welcome.
Thanks. I love the Sean Connery ones. The Timothy Dalton ones I'm not huge on. The Roger Moore ones are good.
What about Pierce Brosnan?
Pierce Brosnan, I don't like them.
Oh, come on.
I don't like the Brosnan ones.
He's so cool.
Maybe I have to revisit them now that I'm getting back into
so
like
tacky.
I know, that's why I think that's why I didn't like him, but now that I'm getting into like Jean-Claude and all that stuff, maybe I'll enjoy it at like a different level. I'm not sure. But yeah, so Bond is out September 30 apparently in the UK, and then it's going to roll out internationally, but they haven't said anything about that. Kind of doubling back to Marvel again quickly. Spider-Man. Do you like Spidey-Man?
Absolutely not.
No, you don't like Spider-Man. No. What's about Spider-Man you don't like?
It's just, he's like, he's the one you see everywhere, I think. And it's just, I'm just grown to just be like, oh, okay, Spider-Man, yeah.
He's like the quintessential Marvel.
Yeah, he is. He's one of the quintessential superheroes, which means that he's on absolutely everything.
Yeah.
He's on the cereal boxes. He's in the he's on every single poster. I'm surprised there's not a Spider-Man poster in here. Actually.
The very first film poster I ever had on my wall was Spider-Man. Yeah. The original film. Yeah.
And look how you turned out.
Yeah, no. Exactly. But you could say the same thing about Batman. You love Batman.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe, Batman's just got a special hole in my heart, I guess.
I feel like Spidey is like, that quintessential Marvel hero. Before the MCU, when you thought Marvel, you thought Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And X-Men. That was like it before these obscure characters.
They must be doing something right because he's got to be far and away like the most popular superhero ever.
Yeah. Well, up with Batman and Superman for sure. Spider-Man.
Even if you ask kids today, what's your favorite superhero? They're not going to say Superman.
No, true.
Because they don't...
Because he's not as ingrained in the pop culture as he used to be. Yeah,
so they're doing something right.
For sure. Yeah. So they've announced the title of the new film, which I'm sure you are just incredibly excited about.
I'm really hyped for this one. Yeah.
Right, okay, so the title that they first announced was Spider-Man. Now, the first Spider-Man that they did in the MCU was Spider-Man Homecoming. Okay. Second one was Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay.
And the new one they've announced as Spider-Man Phone Home.
Oh. What's the deal with them?
What do you mean?
Like, why isn't it Spider-Man versus fucking Mr. Octopus Man?
They got to get the home in the title.
Why home?
Why not? I don't know, because the first one was called Homecoming and the second one was Far From Home.
Why was it called Homecoming?
Because it was like, it was like a double kind of meaning. It was like Marvel had finally got rights to use Spider-Man again after Sony had it for so long. They still have it, but they reached an agreement to finally be able to get the character back home. So it was like the homecoming for Spider-Man, but also the film was set in like Peter Parker was at high school going to his homecoming. So it was like a double meaning.
Okay.
And then from there they've done Far From Home, and now they announced it as Phone Home, like E.T.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah. Tom Holland come out and said, this is the title. Yeah. As a troll, though. So that's not the real title.
Oh, okay.
So then Jacob Batalon, who is also in the film, plays his friend Ned. He posted on Instagram. The real title was Spider-Man Homewrecker.
Oh.
Yeah. That's not the real title either, though.
Oh.
Okay, so Zendaya came out and she said, no, real title is Spider-Man Home Slice.
So they're just fucking with us.
They were fucking with us. They were just like trolling us.
Okay.
Who knows why? Well, Tom Holland is like he's been really bad with like leaking spoilers and stuff in the past. So they always like play it up a little bit. Do you get what is Home Slice? I've seen so many like Americans on Twitter laughing like, oh, that's the best one yet, Home Slice. I'm thinking, what is Home Slice?
I've got no idea.
It must be some cultural thing. The only thing I could find was like pizza. Like Home Slice Pizza, maybe that's it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the real title was announced the day after.
Okay.
This is this 100% real title: Spider-Man: No Way Home. There you go.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Is that the best one out of the lot? No Way Home.
I guess so. I was excited for Phone Home because I thought that there would be an alien like coming in or something.
Yeah. No, it's Spider-Man No Way Home. This is the third one of the MCU franchise. I think it's a pretty good title. The end of the last one, you obviously have not seen it, but he's been outed to the world as Peter Parker. Everyone knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man now.
What are they going to do?
He's on the run.
What's going to happen?
Well, I don't know.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. But he's got no way home, obviously, now because everyone knows who he is.
He's fucked.
Yeah.
Good.
Pretty much.
Maybe I'll watch this one.
That's not nice. It's Spider-Man. He's great. But to be honest, there's been like a divide on whether people really love this Spider-Man or whether people just really don't like him. There's like there's no in between. You either really love the Tom Holland one or you don't like it. You couldn't weigh in because you've not seen it.
Well, yeah, but Tobey Maguire is definitely the best meme one.
So,
I'm
for
all
sure.
for that. I'm all for the memes.
Oh, for sure. Well, they're apparently getting him back. Have you heard all this?
Oh, really?
You would have because I've talked about it in the pod.
You said that. Well, no, because they didn't confirm
No, it's
or
not been
deny
confirmed
anything.
yet. Yeah. Not yet. And they're still, like Tom Holland was on Jimmy Fallon the other night and he was asked again, is Toby and Andrew coming back? He was like, I haven't heard anything. They haven't told me anything, so probably not. I think they're coming back.
He must be media trained to.
Oh, it'd have to be.
Now,
yeah.
Because, if he's been giving away spoilers.
So much, like in the past. He's only young. He was very young when he did these first few films and he was just, had no filter. Go on these shows and just spoil stuff.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, you probably shouldn't have said that.
We're paying you so much money.
Yeah, just shut up.
Stop ruining
Shut up. So they really play it up now. But yeah, so that's our official name for Spider-Man 3, No Way Home. It's apparent again, the trailer didn't give the official release date again, but it's coming out Christmas this year. Apparently it's going to be like a Christmas film set during Christmas, so that'll be another one to add to my list and one that you'll avoid probably in the future. Yeah.
Well, I only watch one Christmas film.
Well, there you go. Yeah. You're not going to find a new favourite in Spider-Man No Way Home?
Oh, probably not. I haven't seen the other two.
No?
It's going to have no context.
Get on it, man. Get on it. You're going to have to watch Avengers Infinity War and Endgame as well because he's in them too.
It's definitely not happening. Let me tell you that.
Look, have you got anything else you want to say on the pod?
No. Thanks for having me on.
That's okay.
This has been great. See you later.
Yeah, it's been. See you later. Goodbye. See you later, guys. No, we're going to take some subscriber questions first, and then we'll wrap it up. We've only got a couple. You said you didn't want to read them out, so I'll read my own questions this week.
Cool.
For myself, right? You can answer them too if you like.
Okay.
This is for both of us. Tushar Sharma, who's a patron supporter, thank you so much for all your support. If you could have a small cameo in any sci-fi movie, what would it be and why? Whacko Jacko.
Oh, it's got to be Alien.
There you go.
I want to be eaten alive by the alien.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, having that thing burst out of my chest, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
What a way to go.
I always used to say I'd love to just like be an alien in Star Wars at like the cantina, just like chilling there. You know that alien in A New Hope? He goes to take a drink and he hits his chin. Have you seen that? Oh,
yeah.
I'll be that guy. One of those just bad bloopers that they never cut out of the film. Just a little guy in this little alien face. Obviously can't see out of his mask. He goes to take a drink and he's like this. Brilliant. Love it. I'll be that guy. Charlie Palmer says, what are some of the movies series that haven't been made available on Blu-ray yet that you want to see get a release. Jackson?
Oh, well, I've got no idea.
You have no idea?
No.
I think pretty much everything that I want on Blu-ray has come out. The only thing I can think of is like stuff like True Lies, the James Cameron film with Arnold Schwarzenegger's never had a Blu-ray release. The Abyss.
Is that's not James Cameron?
Yeah.
That one with the husband and wife duo?
I can't remember. I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No, True Lies. That's not come out on Blu-ray yet.
What's the woman's name in that?
I can't remember. I don't know what you're even thinking of. Are you thinking of the one with Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah.
No, that one is oh gosh. It's oh man, it is Schwarzenegger though, and that's been issued multiple times. She is in that one.
It is that one. That is that one that I'm thinking of.
True Lies, yeah, that's never come out.
I didn't realize that was James Cameron.
James Cameron, yeah.
I loved that movie as a kid.
What was I thinking of? I'm thinking of it's literally just come out on 4K. I thought she was in it too, but she mustn't be. It's I don't know even what I'm thinking about. I'm on IMDb now. I'm going to look at Schwarzenegger.
Well, there you go. If that hasn't come out on Blu-ray yet,
that's the one.
I'll come over and watch that with you.
Never come out. There's like there's like a dodgy one. There's a dodgy one going around that's like a unofficial thing. It's kind of like, it's what they call like a grey market release, where it's like it's like a German release or something. And I think the label that has released it has distribution rights over the film, but not necessarily the rights to put it out on disc, but they did it anyway. There's a lot of these like grey market things. I don't really like to support them. I never have. I can't even remember the name of this other movie that I'm thinking of. I'm looking here. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. This is riveting radio right here. I don't know. It's just been... I'm going to look up 4K Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's literally just come out on 4K. I don't know. I'm not going to keep wasting time on this. But I'm so... What's the film called? Damn... This is when you need people to call in and be like, oh, hello.
This one.
It's this film. I'm going to look it up on JB Hi-Fi now. Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not even coming up, man. I don't even know why I'm bothering. Because it's not even relevant, because True Lies is the film you were thinking of, right? I've got it out there. They remade it with Colin Farrell.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, that's how I'm going to do it. Colin Farrell remake of... Schwarzenegger, right? What is it? Total Recall.
Was Jamie Lee Curtis in that as well?
I don't know. I thought she was, but I think we're both. That's the Colin Farrell one. I want the Arnold Schwarzenegger one. Total Recall, similar name. True Lies. Total Recall.
Yeah, very, very similar.
Yeah. Oh no, Sharon Stone was in that one. Sharon Stone. I see. This is bloody riveting podcasting.
You were up till 4 a.m.
So I was up till 4 a.m. I'm sorry,
and
guys.
You've been drinking martinis.
Yeah, I had a little sip of martini. Yeah, I'm off the edge. Let's take another couple of questions. Walter Saucer says, what is a film or TV show that you are looking for on Disney Plus? Star? I'm looking forward to Nomadland. Have you seen that movie? Haven't seen Nomadland. I don't even know if it's gone to wide. It must have. I think it's gone on a wide release here. I'm not sure. It looks really good, though. What am I looking forward to on Disney Plus Star? I don't know. Again, I've got everything on bloody Blu-ray.
Whatever that trailer was we watched before.
Luca.
Yeah, there
eventually
we go.
That will
That's
go
what I'm looking
That's how
forward
you'll
to.
see it.
Yeah,
it's
done.
not Star, but that's just Disney Plus. But yeah, that'll do.
Done.
Yeah.
What next question?
Well, actually, Disney would own True Lies now because that was Fox. So.
Oh, really? Yeah. Not Total Recall.
No, not Total Recall. It's True Lies. So maybe that. Or any of those Cameron movies that have not been upgraded to 4K just yet. Poseidon God of War 20 Productions writes in which film?
Great name.
Which film, TV show would you recommend for someone who's looking to give new films or TV shows a try? Whacko Jacko?
Oh, Frasier.
Frasier. Yeah.
Done.
Is it an acquired taste? I don't know. I'm curious to see how it would stack up with today's audience.
Oh, I don't think they'd go for it.
I don't think so either.
No.
Well, I was speaking to Alicia last night, and even she was like, it's too old for me. We had this
if I start watching Frasier again, when I get to season 1, I'm like, oh my God, it looks so.
Oh yeah, that's the funny thing.
Weird.
Again, I'm talking about this existential crisis I'm having, where everything is just making me feel old. I go back and I watch a movie that I grew up watching, and I feel this feels like an old movie now.
Yeah,
like Superman, like the original Superman. I'm watching that the other day, going, this feels old. This actually it's like quite dated now. Still a brilliant movie, but it feels old. So I feel like maybe a modern audience. Well, in that respect, it's a Superman that Christopher Reeve one from the 1970s would be as old to today's children as that 1950s black and white Superman TV series was for us when we were growing up.
Yeah.
So to them, that's real old. I think, and then another movie that I did, the Vacation films. Did you ever watch them with Chevy Chase?
Yeah.
Christmas Vacation, yeah. They are old. They feel old now as well. So again, last week we had this big discussion about people who didn't want to watch old movies. I understand it. I do understand where they're coming from, because there are things that do feel old. But we won't get into that tangent again. But yeah, I feel like Frasier is one that you would watch and go, yeah, this is really quite dated now.
If certain movies and shows are done correctly, then I still think they definitely stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad, was that one you got into?
Not really, yeah.
That was a good one. That was the one I would probably recommend for someone looking for new TV shows, because that's like one of those first. Sopranos, there we go.
Yeah.
That is a terrific show, and it still holds up. I watched it again not recently.
Yeah.
I would recommend the
Don't
Sopranos.
start with Deadwood.
No, don't start
that
with
would
Deadwood.
Be my recommendation.
Oh, no way. There we go, Sopranos. It still feels very modern. It still feels very relevant. The writing in it's terrific. The performances are fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
Really great show. It's still, Alicia loved it. It. She wanted to watch it, so it was like, all right, let's watch it. I had watched all the way up to the second last season and had never finished it. We're talking like back in high school days. Yeah. Finally got a chance to watch it all. And Alicia loved it. So if Alicia doesn't want to touch stuff that's too old, but she liked it, you know it's good. So there we go. Sopranos. Knack. This is the one final question. Knack says, how would you feel about having two friends that are secretly sea monsters? Would you go on missions to investigate something that's not meant to be real? How would you react to a friend that turns into a giant red panda when too excited? Would you be able to discern someone who's good at making illusions? Lots of questions in there. Let's stick with that one about the giant red panda is about Pixar's next film called Turning Red. We'll stick to the one about Luca. Secret. How would you feel about having two friends that are secret? Imagine if like myself and Tim were sea monsters.
That would be amazing.
It'd be amazing. You go on adventures with us.
Oh,
yeah.
What sort of question is that?
You wouldn't try to capture me and like sell us to like fish hunters or some shit?
Nah, no way.
No,
because you like. If anything, I'm just going to take pictures of you, and I'll be like that guy who sells pictures of Spider-Man. Newspaper. Oh no, because Spider-Man.
He takes a picture of himself.
Yeah. So no, I'll sell the pictures of you guys, but otherwise we'll
friends.
just be
Yeah, I'd say the same. If you and Tim were sea monsters, it'd be great.
Yeah,
we have some great adventures.
Exactly. Yeah.
With that. It's the real end of the show, guys. Thank you for listening. That is all we have time for. I was going to say it's a fairly short show today. Just a little over an hour and a half, which is pretty good, I think. We reined it in a little bit today. The last couple of weeks have been like 2+ hours, 2.5 hours.
I've still been listening.
You've still been listening?
Yeah.
That's good to hear. The podcast, of course, goes out every single Monday on all podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Amazon Music, and Audible. Visual Element is available on YouTube same day, but if you're a patron supporter, you get that 2 days earlier. $1 a month. As little as $1 a month.
I'm signing up tonight.
Thank you very much. You can find me on YouTube at, did I say patreon.com/Dave Lee Down Under? Can't remember if I did, but you can head there and give me $1 a month. Support me $1 a month. You get your stuff. I'm tired, guys. I've been up since 4. I haven't been up since 4. I went to bed at 4 and then woke up at 8. No, 9. Righto, okay, you can find me on YouTube at Dave Lee Down Under, over on Twitter, Instagram, Dave Lee Down Under. There's links in the description on every podcast. So click through, you can go there. If you want to write into the show, you can send an email to
daveleepod@gmail.com.
Thank you very much. If you're listening on the podcast platforms, please leave a review. It helps. I like
Only the good ones.
Only good ones. Thank you very much. YouTube preview this week on the channel. Last week I uploaded my first cartoon evolution of the year, which was Tom and Jerry's Spike and Tyke, the two little bulldogs from the Tom and Jerry series. So you can go and check that one out if you want. I'm working on getting the voice evolutions out as well. By the time I put this video up, I think I've already probably put one out. A bunch of cartoon news went up last week as well. Talking about Luca, we're talking about the new Rugrats CGI reboot, we're talking about the new Animaniacs Season 3, so you can go and check out all those cartoon news, as well as like a trailer breakdown for Luca as well. I've got my walkthrough of Disney Plus Star that I did the night we got back from the Disney Plus Star event. I was up till 1 or 2 o'clock doing that, so I'm absolutely just stuffed at the moment. I'm not too sure what's going up this week. I've been sitting on a couple of Pixar ranking videos. I made like 3 at the beginning of the year, just waiting to drop them. I think I'll probably drop one of them this week. So stay tuned for that, hopefully. Depends what else is happening on the channel this week. I'm going to have reviews for Raya and the Last Dragon and Judas and the Black Messiah. Will both go out this week. And I think that's it. As for the rest of March, I've got a big evolution coming up. I almost said cartoon evolution, but it's not going to be a cartoon evolution. Something different. I'm not set on the name just yet. I'm not going to say it in case someone steals it. Not that they will. But it's going to be a new evolution series, and I'm probably going to rotate between it and cartoon evolution, just to kind of give a bit of variety. That's what I want with the channel. I want a bit more variety, and I think this first evolution that's coming up in this new series should be really popular, I hope. I'm not going to spoil it, but all the signs are there. If you look at my LinkedIn, you look at what I've been talking about on the podcast, all the signs are there. The clues are there, so if you want to check it out, I'll probably reveal it within the next week or two. That's it, though. So thank you so much, Whacko Jacko, for joining me here on the podcast today.
Thanks. It was a lot of fun.
They've all loved you. Cut it out! Thank you very much. Well, it's been great to have you on, and I will get you back on again. I'll shake your hand right there. Old Tim wants to come on as well.
Yeah.
So we'll get him on, and then we might get both of you on at some time.
Yeah. If you want to follow me.
Yes, yeah, where do we follow Jackson?
I don't want you to follow me.
You don't want to?
No. Well, Jackson_HH on Instagram. That's it.
There you go. You can go and check out old Whacko Jacko.
Yeah. Come and have an argument with me about movies.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, thanks once again for coming on the show. Thank you, everybody out there, for listening. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next week. I'm going to have a nap. And you can just fucking let yourself out.
Okay.
All right.
See you later.